absolutely ridiculous cross-examination. That's not what cross-examination sounds like. The premise he was working very hard to try to establish is totally irrelevant.
Right.
Did was your marriage a failure? Also, the way he parsed the question, you would never parse a question that way in cross-examination. If the witness is saying anything other than yes or no in cross-examination, you're doing a terrible fucking job. Like, everything is putting words in the witness's mouth. So even if you wanted to establish that premise, you would say, isn't it a fact, ma'am, that you failed at your marriage? Which, by the way, I would never ask because it's not important. Like, it's really like the marriage ended, right? Isn't it a fact? Now, he was successful in making her look evasive for a second when she goes, well, I would say it didn't succeed. And I'm sorry, what's another name for what doesn't succeed? Would it be failure? So when you can use cross-examination to establish that a person's being evasive, and that makes the judge not like the witness and maybe causes them to like impose the asshole tax on the person. But like the structure of that cross-examination, they're like, isn't it true? Like, that's
Answer the question.
Yeah, you don't do that. It's a bad look. You actually would say to the judge, Your Honor, I'd ask that the court instruct the witness to answer the question as been posed. And that's actually more, remember, this is not jury trials. These are bench trials. So you're doing this in front of a judge. Some judges will let you do very performance-based stuff. Some judges will not. By the time cases devolve to that level where you're cross-examining a witness, very rarely does your client look at you and go like, oh, did you have to be that hard on her? Usually when you take a break from testimony, they're like, holy shit, that was amazing.
How
like,
often
it's like their
do you
favorite.
go to trial?
Depends on the kind of lawyer that you are. I go to trial quite a lot.
Really?
People hire me because they want a trial lawyer. But it's like saying, how often do you get surgery? And if you're a surgeon, most people who come to you, they come to you because they need surgery. Sure. A lot of times now people hire me because they know I'm a trial lawyer, and I don't end up having to do the trials because people know I'm a trial lawyer.
Right.
So they know I'm not afraid of the 5 magic words. Please call your first witness. So a lot of lawyers like who are good trial lawyers, when we're up against each other, we don't take the case to trial because our attitude is like, hey, there's going to be blood on both of us if we do this thing. But some people, if you bring a trial lawyer, if you bring a gun to a knife fight, you're going to win, right? Like, so, if you bring a trial lawyer to a situation, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Like, it's better to have a trial lawyer and not need it than to need a trial lawyer and not have it. I have a lot of people that end up hiring my firm right before trial because they hired someone who is like, oh, I don't try cases, I settle them, and da-da-da. And then they can't reach a court and they go, well, what do I do now? And the person goes, well, I'm not really a trial lawyer. And then they end up having to hire me. Or I have a lot of law firms that will hire me to be trial counsel, where they'll say, look, we brought this case all the way. We thought it was going to settle. It didn't. Can you jump in and try the case now? And I'm happy to do that because it's my favorite thing is to be in a courtroom cross-examining people. That's not what cross-examination looks like. It's actually way more exciting and interesting and intellectual than that.